What is happening, everybody? Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm doing something brand new, something I've never done in the years of reacting to music, and that is waking up right away and before I do anything, just jumping right into an album. And I'm doing this for a couple different reasons. For one, I'm incredibly excited about this album. For anybody that's been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about 21 Pilots a lot, comparing other music I react to 21 Pilots with production techniques or anything interesting I can find. I've just been a fan of this band for years, since right around the beginning of the Vessel era. I started diving pretty deep in, and then I've been following the albums and everything. And the second reason is I thought it'd be kind of cool to react to music before I have any sort of outside influences. And I mean by just, checking my phone, seeing what's going on in the world, getting distracted by whatever's happening on TV or whatever, but actually just waking up, being clear-headed, and going into something brand new. So I thought this would be a cool little experiment as well. I might not have as much energy as I normally have for my other reactions because I normally have a shit ton of caffeine and I'm very much awake, and in today's video I'm not. But I think this should be a cool little experiment. So anyway, we got this new album called Breach from 21 Pilots. It was rumored last year that there was some sort of like double album going on with their release called Clancy. People were very divided on this. There was a lot of discourse online. And I didn't really know what was going on, but I was very surprised to find out that we had a new single that dropped about 3 months ago, as of today's date. And I did check out those two new songs, The Contract and Drum Show. I do have reactions to those music videos. They're probably on Patreon right now. If not, I'm going to upload them to Patreon. Make sure you guys get them right away. I'll still react to the audio files and everything, but I probably won't go as in deep into the production as I normally do. But this should be pretty fun. So the first one we have is a song called City Walls. And my understanding is this music video is the song that ties together the entire lore thing that's been going on for the last 10 years. For those of you guys that don't know, the last, 3-4 albums have been tied together by some sort of main intertwining story that Tyler has been writing. And there's been this great battle, and there's this, really a lot of world building. There's this whole scenery called Dima, and there's these characters and everything. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't exactly know what the hell is happening. And I don't know if anybody else really knows what's happening either. I think there's been a lot of people online that have said, I know what's going on. Here's a breakdown and everything. I've heard multiple different variations of it all. And honestly, I just don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some sort of expert on the lore of all of this. What I do know is I appreciate the music, the structure, the sound design, the vocals, and just like the beat mapping. Like when these two come together, lightning gets trapped in a bottle, and it fascinates me to no end. So I don't know too much about the lore, but what I do know about is how the lore intertwines with some of the general themes and imagery of the things that Tyler talks about. A lot of mental health, a lot of issues with personal struggle, issues with personal acceptance with how he views his religion and how he wants to express it. And there's all sorts of thoughts and theories on all of that. And I don't know, I just appreciate it from a broader spectrum of just looking down from within and just absorbing the entire sonic palette of what 21 Pilots does. And that has always been my jam. I'll try and figure out some of it. And if I see some things tied together, I'll mention it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend this is some kind of lore video. This is just me as a longtime 21 Pilots fan, experiencing a new 21 Pilots album for the first time. So let's pull it up here. Let's get this video over here. Perfect. So we do have a music video. It's called City Walls. It is almost 10 minutes long. One of the longest 21 Pilots videos, I think ever, really. Let's check it out. So yeah, that's like Dima down there, the little walls. This is like the great battle that's supposed to happen, the natural climax. Digging the bass. Let's turn it up.
take your right, throw a left. Pair up with me, I'ma take your right to the chest. Warpath etched in the surface, lines of the yellow tape, they're moving quiet like a serpentine in a formation. Buddy, that's my team, pretty impatient. Now they're waiting on me. It might be the furthest we've reached. Now move it up, it's a breach.
Is this from Heavy Dirty Soul? Yeah, it's all tying back together. Yep. That'll be the burning car. Yep. There we go.
I wonder where you are. I wanted you to show me the way around the city walls, the way on through. I wonder where you are. I wanted you to show me, but now the night has fallen, abandoned by the sun.
It's like an action flick.
Square up with me, I can come to you. Tell me when. Pair up with me, I can run on you. In the end, I write a promise in pencil, but my loyalty's in pen. Use a mistake as a crooked stencil, then we trace it back again. From the mainland to the island of violence, it was the same plan for a while. Decided to send me up and rip you out of your seat. You see, in a city with no entrance, there is not a retreat. I'm wondering what you thought would happen, who you thought I would be. Was this a side swipe, or did you picture this in a dream? Buckle down, this is possibly the furthest we've reached. Now move it up, it's a breach.
Love this hook. Shit.
My smile wraps around my head, splitting it in two. I don't have a clue how I can keep the top half glued. My smile wraps around my head, splitting it in two. I don't have a clue how I can keep the top half glued. I wonder where you are. I wanted you to show me. Entertain my
What? This is unexpected. Oh, and he becomes the demon? What the fuck? Yeah, that's the beginning of Heavy Dirty Soul. We're hearing some audio cues. I don't know what the fuck is happening now. Wait, did we lose this entire battle? Don't you do Josh dirty like that? He didn't take it.
What now? I really like this Clancy.
Yeah, me too. But that's not Clancy up there anymore. He's out there somewhere. And we will try again.
Again?
Always.
Got some acting here? All right.
I am starting it all once again. Did I learn a thing? Intentions are everything. Intentions will set you free. You will fail most every day, in every way. Did you learn a thing? Intentions lack memory.
These must be all the videos that are tied together.
Intentions will set you free. Just
Okay, so Josh had a lot to do with the story too. Well, shit. Okay, that, I mean, it leaves things off like kind of in a way that I wasn't expecting. I thought for sure, we knew that this was like the climax of everything. So I thought for sure like there was going to be this great battle and there was some cool action sequences and everything. But I thought like finally when you get to the point where like, Tyler can overcome his inner demons. That's what all this to me has always felt like. It's like a metaphor for personal struggles and just inner demons and working through personal issues. Just like played out through various characters. And again, I don't understand the dynamics of all of it, but I do understand the essence and the angle of seeing certain aspects of your personality, of your disorders, of whatever, as a character, not necessarily just as a part of you. People that struggle with a lot of these issues like depression and everything, it's like there's almost a schizophrenic nature to it. And I'm not generalizing everybody, but at least from my standard, like it feels like sometimes I don't even feel like myself. I feel like a character of myself, or that's a different version of my personality. And that's what this whole story has felt like to me. It felt like, disorder personified, I suppose. And it's very cleverly written and put together. And there's been lots of really cool Easter eggs along the way. But what I knew going into Breach and going up to this point was this was supposed to be the end battle. This was how the story would end. And it was kind of sad to see like it end with him being taken over, him being consumed by his inner demons. And I'm like, well, shit, we lost the battle. You know, all these albums, all this story of like fighting and like pushing back and reclaiming self and everything has led to him just losing. Like, what's the message in that? And I think we have a lot of cues as to what this means. And I think what it's trying to say here with City Walls is this whole thing isn't like, there's no winning the battle. There's no, all of a sudden you don't have these issues anymore. It's all just a constant fight. And going back into a new cycle, essentially going back into, fuck, all right, you lost this time, but get back up and want to try again, just like Josh said as well. So many cues in this video to some of the previous works, from Heavy Dirty Soul to Entertaining My Faith and everything, which is from a song called Holding On To You from the album Vessel that I'm a big fan of. That was the album that really got me. Really, really cool stuff. And even some of the melodies as well. There was some accent melodies in there that felt like it was from different eras of 21 Pilots as well. So this is going to be a really fun album. I think this is a wild way to start the song off. Let me check Spotify here. Yeah, okay, so the Spotify version of this song is only 5 minutes and 22 seconds, and this is a 10-minute song. So I think that ending part there with the music and everything, when you talk about intentions and everything, I think that's added on just for the music video itself as a fun little extra little thing. And it leads into saying, hey, we got to just keep fighting. And that's what 21 Pilots' message has always been, you know, the stay alive thing and all of that is like, you got to keep fighting, you know. There's no real magic medication, you know, medications can help and stuff like that, but there's no real magic easy pill that's going to get you out of dealing with your inner demons. Unfortunately, it's just a version of yourself that's going to exist at all times. But being strong and being, you know, honest with yourself and honest with what you want to do with your life is just like, this is a badge of honor to wear. You have to continue to keep fighting through it. You have to continue to keep finding a better day. And I think everybody has their issues in one way, shape, or form, whether it's an actual diagnosed thing or whether it's just something they're dealing with every day in life. And we all have our own battles and our own issues to work through every day, whatever it is. And that's why I find something like this relatable. Even if it's not a mental issue, we all have issues in some form of our life, and we all just need to fight through it. You know what I mean? You know, take the loss every once in a while, but don't take the big loss. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what all this has all been around. And so having this whole saga that, again, I have never really known too much about or really haven't paid too much attention to it because I've looked at it from the metaphorical angle anyway. I actually like the ending. I like the cycle. I like the idea that you have to keep pushing through and that these things, there is no great battle where you just conquer it all. You know, it's constantly going to be a struggle, and such is life. And I think that's a story that was told just with a lot of really cool Easter eggs, interesting music videos, and some wild storyline as well. So I wonder what the rest of this album is going to be about. So we're going to pull up Spotify here. We're going to move on to the next one. Oh, speaking of sound design and as far as like structurally where the song goes and everything, love the groove factor, love the tones that are used, love the throwbacks. Vocally, we're seeing a lot of expression from Tyler as well. He does that beautiful falsetto that just like feels so intimate and vulnerable when he breaks things down. We had some awesome screams there as well. I'm a fan of Tyler screaming. I like him to scream. I like the more aggressive side of him. It's just like so brutal and like there's a raw primalistic like element to the way this man screams, especially when he takes you out of those beautiful like high falsettic notes and brings you into like the more guttural primal aspect of a scream. The contrast between those two things and how it comes alive in his music is just it's something to behold, and I'm a big fan of it. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. Let's move on to the next track here, which would be Raw Fear. We start off with screams. Bear with me while I mess with some of the audio here. We might be a little bit low. I just don't want to blow everybody's eardrums off.
Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever nipping hills, never slowing down. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever gripping fields, never slowing down. You know what scares me? Not stupid. You've met my fears, they're all regulars. Wait, who's the new kid?
Uh-oh.
You know what kills me? Not getting stronger. And now I can't seem to sit still any longer. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever, gripping feels, never slowing down. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever, gripping feels, never slowing down.
We're going to speed up. Very clever.
Is a slow and painful lesson. It is not pass or fail, but a poisonous progression. Try to microdose to immunity, but you'll never ever get it. And I go, what's the matter? Isn't helping you go. I wish her parents would stop yelling. I could build a tower with the times I was pretending. Try to microdose to immunity, but I'll never see the ending. And I go, what's the matter? Isn't helping you go. I wish your parents would stop yelling. You know it scares me. No, I'm stupid. And you go, wait, who's the new kid? And you go, not getting stronger. And now I can't seem to sit still any longer. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever, nipping hills, never slowing down. Life is just forever, gripping feels, never slowing down. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever, nipping heels, never slowing down. Raw fear moves me, sounds of empty Uzis. Life is just forever, gripping feels, never slowing down.
Interesting. A lot of really fun to sound design going on this one. Starting off with this panning scream. Almost sounds like it's coming from a woman or a child or something that's just kind of panning back and forth in your ear and has some sort of like delay effect to it. Maybe emphasizing on the idea of fear and anxiety personified in that way. One of the key lyrics that kind of took me away was this, wait, who's the new kid? So I feel like his fear is finding a new fear almost, you know what I mean? And that's the cycle of anxiety. And man, I'm lucky that I don't have too much anxiety issues or any of that stuff. But my wife does. And, you know, and I've got friends that do. And when they tell me about the effects of anxiety, the effects of being uncomfortable in the idea of being uncomfortable and the thought of being fearful of fear and everything. I think this is kind of what the song is talking about. So it's an idea of an anxiety and a new anxiety, the new kid kind of coming to light, and how that might be like, wait, what the fuck is this? Is this a new thing that I have to worry about or whatever? And this is a kind of a sad song to some degree, you know, because he's not getting stronger. And I'm thinking of City Walls moving into this as if it's some sort of linear thing, and we don't know that for sure just as of yet. But if he was to start over, if he was to start the cycle over and we were to move into Raw Fear, you wouldn't be at your best. You know, this would be kind of like one of those sober dawn of Sunday scenarios where you wake up, you're like, fuck, I slipped again. Fuck, I messed up again, you know, and now I'm here. But as far as the song goes itself, it's great, man. It's very groovy. It has elements of R&B to it, and I like the fact that we have that more whimsical synth back and everything. I'm really excited for this album because it seems to be kind of becoming a celebration of its past works itself. You know, like everybody has their favorite 21 Pilots era and album and all that stuff. And this seems, at least sonically, from a direction going back to some of those more kind of hip hop R&B roots. More smooth stuff. Like think of songs like Doubt, if you're familiar with that from Blurry Face, where it really has like that super wide open bass that's kind of cheesy and almost sounds kind of like a 90s you know, kind of dance jam or whatever. It has that effect to it as well. It's fairly chill for the most part. I like the tempo change, especially when it's going slower. There's always a lot of like very clever wordplay mixed together with the music and everything. But yeah, it feels like it's all about fear. It's all about learning to overcome it, like being afraid that maybe you're not as, you know, agile as you thought you were and moving past it. But overall, I think it's a great little song, Raw Fear. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Drum show. All right. So like I said, I got this music video reaction. It's out there. I don't think I have it on YouTube. I just put it on YouTube because there's like one person on Patreon that's like, do it. I'm like, fine, fuck it. So I just did it for you. If you're that person that made that comment. So I put it up on YouTube for like 2 minutes, and then I took it down. But I'll put it back up on Patreon if you want to see it again. Should I react to this again? Is there anything to say? For the cohesive nature of this album, we're just going to listen to it again. But if you want to see that video where I break it down, it's like 25 minutes. It's out there. I'll link it in this video.
Completed checklist for today. Now they have to let you out of your cage. Feeling stuck between a rock and a home. Two places you do not want to go. So he's putting on a drum show. Even now, he'll take the longer way home. Even now, he'll never ever say so. He drives fast just to feel it. He drives slow if his song's not over. Drown it out. Show. He'd rather feel something than nothing at all, so he swerves all around as his head starts to fall, turns it up. Stuck between a rock and a home. Two places he does not want to go. So he's putting on a drum show. Even now, he'll take the longer way home. Even now, he'll never ever say so. He drives fast just to feel it. He drives slow if his song's not over. Drown it out.
I've been this way. I want to change. I've been this way. I want to change.
This is going to be brutal live.
He's putting on a drum show. Even now, he'll take the longer way home. Even now, he'll never ever say so. He drives fast just to feel it. He drives slow if his song's not over. Drown it out.
Yeah, honestly, still one of the best bridges I've ever heard from 21 Pilots right there. Coming out of, Josh singing essentially for the very first time, having his little solo moment there, to Tyler's brutal scream on top of it, or at the ending of it. It's that kind of climax I was talking about earlier, that contrast that he does with his own vocals. And it was so interesting to see from the angle of Josh and talking about his issues and things that, he's just sharing a little bit more about himself, A lot of this has been kind of the Tyler show, about his own struggles and everything like that. And Josh has just always been this kind of like funny guy in the back that's been like a really sweet dude and a really nice dude and just kind of a cool guy. But like, this has mostly been a lot of like what Tyler has to say. So it's cool seeing Josh kind of come out of his shell a little bit and share and open up a little bit more with us from a musical standpoint. But yeah, man, this is a great little show here. Great little song here. Drum show. I really enjoy the lead on it, and I think I just realized why I enjoy that lead. And it's part of like the whimsicality of 21 Pilots that really fascinates me, and that's why the Vessel era has always been my favorite. And maybe it's just because I'm biased, and sometimes the era that we find an artist kind of becomes our favorite, era. And maybe that's the case with me. And that's why, Vessel is such a huge deal to me. But, there's so much whimsicality in that album, Vessel. We have so many interesting sounding instruments. There's almost like this cheesiness to it that I've always been a fan of, like with those leads. And I mean leads in the synth, and it's a tone or a texture or what's known as a patch on a synthesizer. That's called a sawtooth lead sometimes. Mostly in common in Roland instruments and things like that. You can get that sound in other instruments as well, but Roland's kind of like, they're known for like that cheesy lead synth type of sound, and you can 100% hear it with this. I wonder if he's using a D-beam too, because there is some pitch bend as well. So it should be interesting to see this one live. A D-beam is essentially just a laser beam that shoots out of your synthesizer, and you can actually modulate the sound by playing with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that live if we do see it. So I'll be definitely sure to check that out. But very, very cool. I like it. I think it's a very well-constructed song. It has that whimsicality to it. It has the driven factor to it. And also there's some guitar as well. One of my favorite things about the Scaled and Icy era, which I know is not everybody's favorite album. It's kind of hit or miss, especially coming out of Trench. Thinking about that album is just kind of crazy. But I enjoy that album. I think it's cool. It's definitely... I mean, there's some, you think of Scaled and Icy and you think of like something so bright and so poppy and everything, but then you have there's some songs on that album that just like kind of like, I don't know, what's that last one called? I forget, like when he's cleaning his room and everything. Maybe I'm a bad fan. I don't know the name of all the songs, but I've heard the album dozens of times. But yeah, like that will just like fucking wreck you, dude. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is in the Scaled and Icy era, they had an entire live band, which was a dynamic that I was very excited to see because for the longest time it's been, Tyler and it's been Josh and it's been, drums and whatever Tyler came up with musically. And I always kind of missed, I wanted more grungy, I wanted more alternative, I wanted more indie, I wanted more aggressive guitar mixed with his cheesier synth tones. And I was very excited for that. And we didn't quite get that with Scaled and Icy, but in a song like this, I feel like it's kind of hitting all the notes, all the things that I was eventually looking for. I wanted something a little bit more gritty, a little bit darker, still very, very much polyrhythmic driven, where the beat is essentially one of the main driving factors, but to have like the aggressive tones of the lead synth mixed together with the guitar. And this to me does sound like there actually is some electric guitar. 100%. It could be just a distorted or a driven synth pad underneath it that's giving us that tone, but it feels like guitar. It feels more alternative. And yeah, I like it, man. Drum Show. Great little tune. Let's keep on keeping on, shall we? Garbage. Jesus Christ. This is going to be a total fan. This album, I can tell right now, we're like, what, 3-4 tracks in right now? This is an album for the fans that have been following their entire work. I can tell from 7 seconds of listening to this song with like that slight delayed piano, the attack on it, that almost like 90s patch mixed together with like a little bit of like some kind of synth undertone to it. Like, again, very Vessel. It's like Vessel meets Blurry Face with elements of Trench, with some of the sonic sophisticality of Scaled and Icy. It's what I'm trying to say is I feel like from a sonic perspective, I think this one is just going to be for the fans. This is for us. This is for the diehards. total guitar.
Would you move closer if I grew quieter? Maybe this is you. Maybe you don't fix and you like it like this. I feel like garbage. I feel like garbage. I feel like I lash out, hey. I'm biting down on my shirt sleeve. Like I lash out. Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me.
All right, Garbage. Coldplay's sad sister of a song. No, I'm just kidding. But it does have that kind of vibe to it, doesn't it? But no, I actually like that. I like the more piano-driven stuff anyway. Again, I'm a Vessel guy, so I appreciate that. You know what it also kind of reminds me from like a sonic standpoint is that song Lavish, which I know also got a lot of shit from people, but I think it's hilarious. The music video is awesome for that. Just with like the main symphonic melody following the traditional melody on it, kind of falls in line with that. Anyway, though, I think it's a pretty good song. I think, again, he's talking about a lot of it's black and white right here. You know, Tyler had this interesting interview one time I thought was so great, where somebody asked him, hey, in this song, you're talking about X, Y, and Z. Why are you talking about X, Y, and Z? And what does this mean? And he's like, I hate answering questions like that because I already explained it all in the song itself. And I think some of it is hyper specific to his exact scenario, but it's also designed in a way as an artist would to be something as a larger canvas that other people can resonate with. And I feel like this song definitely does it. We've all been to that place where we've been 20% or less. We've not felt like ourselves. And immediately when I heard like the 20%, like I thought of myself back in the days when I was drinking a lot, heavy and hard a lot, like every day. And I had a bit of a problem with alcohol there for a bit. And I have to keep like a problem. Like I only allow myself to drink very rarely nowadays. It's only when I just need a little bit of an escape. But it was a problem there for a bit, and it became a bit of my personality. And I remember every day waking up and you're foggy, you're hungover, and you feel like 20% of yourself. And I don't think that's what he's talking about. Although he did mention microdosing, the other song, which maybe he was using for depression, but that's a different topic. Anyway, so I resonated with that. And then also like feeling like garbage, obviously, and then pushing people away. So I think from Tyler's perspective, he's lashing out and pushing people away, but at the same time, he's also kind of scared with like, do you like it better when I'm like this? Do you like it better when I'm this version of myself? Again, personifying the demons that you have and having it be a character. It's like, fuck, is this the version that you like of me? Because this is the version I don't want to be, right? I don't feel as natural as I should be. And that's, again, where it resonated with me, because when I was drinking a lot like that and going out with my friends and doing crazy stuff and everything, I had this friend group of people that I was with, and they loved it, you know? I was a lot funnier. I was a lot more outgoing, you know? I was more of a life of the party kind of guy. And as I grew older and as I realized, shit, Jim, if you continue doing this, it's going to kill you. You know, like you can't wake up feeling like death every single day and think you're going to survive much longer, because it's essentially you're just poisoning yourself. So I realized a while ago, I'm like, you can't do this to yourself every single day. It's going to kill you. And becoming sober, you know, I kind of lost or withdrew from a lot of those friends that really liked that version of me, that really liked that party Jim that was going out and doing crazy stuff. And I was like, shit, am I using alcohol to have fun? Am I using this as a crutch for something else? And in the end, you eventually realize that you can push forward whatever version of yourself that you really feel comfortable with and have that be the main version of you. it may be hard, you know, that's small steps every single day to get over whatever you need to get over. But you do realize that, like, shit, this is maybe the people that I love and care about. This is the version that they see me as, and this is the version that they love and respect. And me becoming something else is me becoming something else. And I remember drastically people saying, like, everything okay with you? Like, what's going on with you? Like, you know, like that was the only time they were concerned with me, is like when I was actually sober and I wasn't like doing crazy shit. They're like, something seems off. And I'm like, no, this is just me, you know? And it feels like he's having some kind of episode and not necessarily tying my issues back to his issues. I'm trying to talk about more of like the blanket, the absorbing a song and pulling out relevancy for yourself and what you see and applying it to your own life. And that's one of the things about 21 Pilots that's always fascinated me is how this is done. And that's what artists do, is they give their hyper realistic or hyper specific, issues that they're dealing with and share it with you, but put it together in a vague enough way where you can apply it to your own life. And sometimes I feel like he's talking directly to me. I'm like, oh shit, I get it. But yeah, cool little song, and definitely made me think. Let's move on to the next one. The Contract. Again, the video's out there. I'll link it in Patreon to this album reaction. But we'll listen to it again.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blinds. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts I used to keep. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, my hallucination I used to see. Wake up and I found out, did it change up? Wait, did it change up? Is it light out? Yeah, better find out where. Better walk around the edge of the room in the bed with a arm on face. Face around, better try to breathe. Face around, face around.
Devastated.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blind. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts I used to keep. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, my hallucination I used to see. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I'll keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, promises and contracts I used to keep. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How'd you know that? I keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Ooh, my hallucination I used to see.
All right, there it is. The Contract. We've all heard that one before. Or maybe you haven't. Maybe you're just watching my stuff and discovering 21 Pilots for the first time. In which case, I'm fucking jealous. All right, I'm jealous. Have I got a rabbit hole for you if you're interested in this band? To me, you know, this song is always felt, and I know it ties into the lore and all that stuff, but like sonically, vocally, and how the song is projected is always felt like a manic episode to me. Like there's so much drum and bass elements and so much phasing in and out, and the contrast of moving back between these, you know, beautiful melodic bridges into like the more intense drum and whimsical synth styles has always been interesting. You know, from a structural standpoint, the song is written in a very drum and bass dancey kind of way, but there's some real heart and real feeling to it. And in essence, that's a lot of what 21 Pilots does. But to me, as one like sonically packaged thing, it's just felt like a box of manic energy, you know? There's some real strain in his voice. There's some real desperation, you know, especially when we get more of like that guttural, more scream forward kind of vocals, I guess you could say, because it's not really screaming. It's just there's a certain angst, there's a certain desperation to his voice that really just makes the whole thing feel a little bit more manic. And again, I know it ties together to the lore and everything, but again, that there is other angles to all of it. So if you're not into the lore or you don't know everything, which I think like for the most part, 99% of us just didn't know. You know, we were just following breadcrumbs and we're like, what the fuck is happening? You know, I think we kind of know right now that it's a cycle of emotions and a cycle of dealing with different variations of yourself and everything. But there's always been this other angle to it that's been like, we're going to use this story as a metaphor for personal things and personal struggles and personal issues, and deliver them in a vague enough way where it can be absorbed by everybody and find something in it. But yeah, it's a manic song. It's a great song. I gotta say, so far, like how many tracks are we in? We're 5 tracks in, and we're like almost at the halfway point here. And so far, no skips for me. You know, oftentimes I hate saying this, like I'll listen to a 21 Pilots album and I'm like, that one might not be for me, or it might take me a little bit of time to grow. It might grow on me or whatever. So far, I'm not getting that from this album. I mean, even the last one with like Clancy, there's a couple songs in that I'm like, I don't know about that one. Maybe that's not my favorite. But this one so far, it's kind of like, that's why I think this might be like a fan service album. Is like, it's kind of hitting all the things that I enjoy about 21 Pilots. And I know I'm not alone in some of those things. So, you know, people want like the more expressive and more artistic elements of structure, but they also want the catchiness you'll find like in Trench, but then they also want like the natural raw catchiness that you find in Blurry Phase, and then they also want like the pure vibrancy and largeness of Scaled and Icy, and it's kind of like all kind of coming together, and then with the whimsicality of like Vessel, so it's kind of like giving us a touch or a taste of all of it mixed together. And you find certain elements of them in each one of these songs. You know, if it's an accent melody or a lead or just a weird harmony going off itself, you're like, oh shit, that's kind of like even just the sound design from this specific song on this album. Whereas everything else has been almost kind of a drastic change. You know what I mean? Like going from album to album, it's always been kind of a bit of sonic whiplash for me. You know, like it was like, it's hard to explain, especially with Scaled and Icy. Like you listen to it and you're like, what the fuck is happening? You know, because you become so accustomed to the album that you've been enjoying for the last year or 2 years, and then you get something new, and it's something that feels drastically different. And it's something that like even if a song isn't for me, it's something I've always respected about them as artists, is the fact that they're willing to take these wild creative risks like every step of the way. And they've been doing that for years now. So there's been something for everybody on each one of these albums. Like I could show my friends who only listen to pop one song off one album, they probably love it. My friends that are rockers, a different song on a different album in different genres. But sometimes it's felt a little discombobulating. But that's what you want from an artist. You want an artist to have creative freedom and someone that's willing to, you know, be that expressive with music and take creative risks. Whereas this, like, it feels, you know, it's still like in the contract. Like it's, like I said, it's a manic episode, or feels like it. It's still kind of a creative risk. We're just reintroduced to themes and tones in previous work that I think they know is a successful blueprint. Let's keep on keeping on though. What's next? Downstairs.
some shelter from the weather. I wear all of my heart on my sleeve. I'll take what I believe and I'm hiding it downstairs. I feel better in the cellar down there. It's some shelter from the weather. I wear all of my heart on my sleeve. I'll take what I believe and I'm hiding it downstairs. I feel better in the cellar down there. It's some shelter from the weather. I wear all of my heart on my sleeve. I'll take what I believe and I'm hiding it. And I'm hiding it. After you're and I'm hiding it. And I'm hiding just like I doubt the stars. You can have all I've made and all I've ever known. You can have both my lungs if you ask me so. 'Cause I want to be the one after your own heart. And I might doubt the process like I doubt the start.
Okay, that is a lot to unpack here. So normally on these albums, there's some sort of hint towards his wife. There's some sort of wife song. I believe his wife's name is Jenna. And that's what I was thinking in the beginning. I'm like, oh shit, all right, he's reverting back to isolation and things like that, and he's going to a place where he can wear his heart on his sleeve and be completely honest with himself and be somebody that he's not quite the same person as he is when he's upstairs. You know, and it's a solitude for him, and it's a solace to him, and he likes to go down there and he likes to kind of get away from it all, but he's still begging for mercy from the people upstairs in his life that are like still with him, be like, don't forget about me, don't, you know, like I just need to kind of disappear for a while. I need to isolate for a little bit to re-energize, recharge my batteries, and be honest with myself about things and get lost in things. And like that's something I 100% resonate with. Every once in a while, if I feel too overexposed with anything, I just need to take a step back and be like, all right, let's just recharge your batteries is the way I always look at it. But that's the kind of way that I looked at it. But it can also be like, there's been like, and I've been almost afraid to say this because, you know, 21 Pilots, these guys, they are religious guys in certain aspects of their faith, of how they feel about religion, of their, you know, of their struggles with religion are evident in their music. It's not a main focal point, but there's definitely elements of it sprinkled through almost everything that they do. And I feel like on some of these songs, looking back on them now, after even just hearing Downstairs, I'm like, is he being more honest about his faith as well, feeling like he's less than and maybe not being as good of a Christian as he should be? I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but it does seem like that there is some element of that. He talks about unholiness, and then also with like city walls, entertain my faith for the last time. Like, I feel like there's a different angle to all of this. And I guess which would leave us to believe, like, if this whole, you know, 10-year cycle of lore is over, like, what would be the next project from these guys? Like, what sort of issues, what sort of things would they talk about? I could see that being a more center focal point. Not like they're trying to, like, you know, get anybody to convert or anything, but just sharing their own experiences. Also, now with both of them being fathers, I think Josh's girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure if they're married, is pregnant now too. It'd be interesting to hear them talk about like the going from essentially being children writing music, you know, teenagers, you know, writing music and creating stuff and going on the road and stuff like that, to now molding somebody else and molding a brand new person and what sort of experiences that's like. I'd love to see him talk about that. But anyway, let's talk about the song Downstairs. Sonically, I mean, come on, this is Vessel, regional at best. Like just the structural standpoint of it, the stabs of it all, like the jarring staccato nature of the rhythmic patterns and the melodic patterns together, and then even the tones as well, with the piano being the focal point, but having these like almost sci-fi-esque elements put together. It's very much early days 21 Pilots, which I like. I know it's not for everybody, Because I've shown some people that, know about music, some of their earlier work, and they're like, what are you showing? What are these tones? What is happening here? I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's the exciting part of it, is it's like, it's polished, but it's not, it's beautiful, but it's raw, it's this contrast. And I totally get that vibe from this. Very cool. I actually really like this one. I feel like it may have gone on a little bit too long, but I really feel like they stuck the ending as well, where things are so scattered and so discombobulated, but when it all breaks through and we get that moment of silence when like the layered vocals get taken off of Tyler's vocals, and it's just like the simplistic, right in your ear, almost monotone ending. Like it feels like it ends with heart, and I appreciate that. Downstairs, another no skip song. Next one is called Robot Voices. All right. Okay. Love the build.
They keep me company. The robots and machines in my
Okay, total Postal Service, right? We're all thinking the same thing. Are we getting like a Death Cab for Cutie, the Postal Service kind of vibe from this? I can't be the only one.
room and understanding the beeps and tones they make. The only advice I take, the inside jokes are landing. Now I'm waiting for the changes. Everyone sees, feeling so fancy, and I just wanna dance in style and stay a while. The lines on the floor. How did you find me?
All right.
I wasn't looking for love this year, but my robot told me that I shouldn't fear. When I met you, I found you safe and warm, and the robot voices would reassure me. Half-drawn blinds, casting lines on the floor as my metal friend flashes in time. The daisy chain power strips generating a newfound loneliness, so I'm waiting for the changes. Everyone sees, feeling so fancy, and I just wanna dance in style and stay a while. The lines on the floor. How did you find me? I wasn't looking for love this year, but my robot told me that I shouldn't fear. When I met you, I found you safe and warm, and the robot voices would reassure me. I wasn't looking for love this year, but my robot told me that I shouldn't fear. When I met you, I found you safe and warm, and the robot voices would reassure me. When I met you, I found you safe and warm, and the robot voices would reassure me.
Interesting. Okay, this one is a bit. Oh, let's go back here. This one is a bit to unpack as well. Maybe we're on somewhat of a linear story here in prequel format. I feel like this almost is a direct answer to Downstairs, you know, being downstairs and then, or maybe not, maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. But I feel like these two songs, Robot Voices and Downstairs, are talking about kind of the same thing, about going to that place of isolation. And for Tyler, that place of isolation is in his studio. And he's down there and he's looking at all the robot, or looking at all of the fancy stuff and the blinking lights and the extension cords and everything. So I'm like, I'm visualizing that. And I'm also visualizing this place of his creative process also being downstairs as well. And him going to this place. Anyway, so the robot voices, I think, is a metaphor for what he's done a lot with music, which is transpose his voice. You know, we heard a lot, especially in Blurry Face, where you have 5 or 6 different layers, you know, a key down, a key up, and everything. It would come together in this wild harmony that sounded somewhat synthetic, but there was still like a rawness to it because there was a layer of raw vocals to it as well. Anyway, he's done that a ton, and I've talked about it a ton in other things that I've done that I like that style. So I think he's looking at those voices as robot voices in this song. I think that's what he's trying to say. Like, his robot voices are saying, hey, well, maybe this is a good thing, or maybe it's a bad thing, or whatever. Being fascinated with his space down there. And then also maybe this is actually the Jenna song about actually being down there and, you know, even the voices that can be that can be destructive to him are actually saying the same thing. Like, well, this person does make you feel warm. Like all the different manifestations of himself are coming together and saying, well, this is a good thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws. It's just what I'm visualizing and feeling on like the first listen going through with the lyrics. As sonically, this one is different. This one feels very different than a traditional 21 Pilots song. There's something different here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the indie nature of how the song starts with like that Postal Service, Death Cab for Cutie kind of vibe thing going on. As it comes alive, as we move on to the verse and the chorus and everything, we're getting more of that staccato vessel type of sonic palette thing happening. What I'm noticing is there is a layering on his voice on all of this and everything, but it's not like that deep, distorted, like 3 keys down we got from like Blurry Face and everything. It's just, it's a different kind of layering, like almost like there's just different voices saying this, like it's him approaching it from a different place. So like as this album started off kind of in a darker place, and not saying that's still not a darker place, like going from Raw Fear to Drum Show to Garbage to Downstairs and everything, kind of from like this place of like, fuck, the cycle's starting over again. It's I had to rebuild myself back up again. I'm at 20% and I need to get myself back up to 100%. As we move on to Robot Voices, it feels like we're moving back up towards like 50%, 45%. So maybe things are getting better. But again, these struggles aren't a linear thing anyway. It can go up and go down. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I actually really like this one. It feels very different than most 21 Pilots songs that I'm immediately familiar with and know, and I've heard them all. There seems to be something different. So I guess there is still some experimentation going on. And the guitar is most prominent in this. It's an electric guitar, but it's not driven. Very indie, but that's all right. That's all right. I like my indie vibes. Let's go immediately. One of my favorites. I mean, even the singles on this, and normally something happens to me with singles. I don't know if it happens to you guys either, but like when you're anticipating an album and like a couple singles drop, you get excited for them, but by the time you listen to the album, like you're always like, do I even want to listen to this again? I've heard it so much, kind of thing, and they lose some like merit, you know. So far, the singles on this album, Drum Show and The Contract, have not had that effect on me, and I feel like they cohesively really fit with the fidelity of what this album is trying to do anyway. But anyway, back to Center Mass here. Yeah, this is easily one of my favorites, starting off in like this raw drum and bass jazzy kind of way. It just reminds me of like more experimental wild jazz that I get into sometimes, and even everything from like the record fuzz to like the birds and everything. You know, it comes across as like we're leading up, we're building towards some sort of like cinematic climax, and yes we do, but the execution on it is done in a way that's like, it's very, very synthetic and very jarring to a degree. And it's 100% designed that way, because even the beat mapping turns into more of like a blast beat style beat mapping. Things get more desperate, things get more emotional, things get heavier. But the palette, the sonic palette that we're dealing with, turns more synthetic as to opposed to more lush, like you'd find with orchestration. So I think that's a really cool dichotomy, and I think it's a really cool blend. And as jarring as it's supposed to be, it comes together in a very beautiful way. But the groove factor in this one is just a 10 out of 10. The flow is awesome on it, like the rapping and all that stuff. And I'm not even a big fan of rap. Like I generally don't like rap music, but I love 21 Pilots. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of my thing. I don't know what's happening here with this little skit kind of thing. Girl, I really don't think you should take that. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Possibly some sort of overdose of a friend. And I could be totally grasping at straws here. I'm literally just looking at this little, skit thing happening here. And if that is what it's about a friend overdosing and dying from something, I think it's pretty universal to all of us. This is a fucking epidemic out there. We've all lost somebody to drugs and overdosing, and I've lost a lot, close to a dozen people from overdoses in my life, which is crazy to say. And I think everybody's been affected by it one way, shape, or form. So I part of me feels like that's what he's talking about here, is the relationship he had with that person and them dying, the funeral, how it changed, how he wished he learned more from them, how he wished that there was more of a connection, how he wished they could have, experienced different things together, It's weird when you stop and you think about somebody that's passed, about somebody that's no longer in your life, and you think about how much you've grown since they've been gone, and how much you would have liked to share a certain moment with that person, one thing that immediately comes to mind, and this wasn't somebody that I lost, but it was somebody that from drugs, but somebody that died from cancer, and it happened right before 9/11. And I don't know what it is about 9/11, but every single time, and I'm only mentioning this because recently, the anniversary, but whenever 9/11 happens, I'm like, oh my God, this dude died right before 9/11. He never got to experience this world-changing event that fundamentally changed all of us. And I can only imagine what he would have thought about it, and what the conversations we would have had about it. And so it's kind of a morbid thing, but every year on 9/11, I think about this dude, and I'm and not because it's, I don't know, it's there's this curiosity. I wanted to know what his thoughts would have been, what kind of conversations, where we would have gone, what, because he was a different guy in my life, who often had different opinions than me, but we agreed on some fundamental things to our core. So we had this interesting relationship. But anyway, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this song when he's talking about the funeral, about how things changed, about how time possibly passes, and thinking about, how things, may move. And that might not be what this is about, but he does talk about funeral. There is essences of death. There is essences of him talking about change. There's also a certain anxiety about all of this as well, about being, anxious in school. And I think that leads me back to him talking about the death of a friend, him going into school and, getting small and partly in finding somebody that maybe he gelled with that is no longer with us. Your first mate in the 5th grade tried to persuade. I think that's what it's about. I might be grasping at straws here, but I think this is about a loss of somebody that maybe was kind to him when he was going through some issues, and maybe helped him through some anxiety that he was having when he was a kid, and they're no longer with him. And this is the personification. This is the emotional climax of just thinking about that person and thinking about the intensity of forever, of death. That's just the vibe I'm getting. Could be totally wrong, but that's what I get. And then outside of that, from a sonic perspective, from a groove factor and everything, I mean, I don't know. When it all tied together, this might be my favorite track on the album right here, Center Mass. Cottonwood. I could be totally wrong on that, but that's just what I'm getting.
Can't believe you're gone for good. Someone chopped you down. Thought you'd just fall in the woods, but she heard that sound. No, I don't remember last we spoke. No, I don't
Okay, Cottonwood. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what this is about. It almost feels like an extension of Center Maths to a degree where he's kind of still talking about the same subjects, but I'm not sure. I just kind of got lost in the soundscape of all this. It's very groovy, but not like in an aggressive way where Center Math is, more staccato driven. It's just more lush, it's more atmospheric and everything, which I like. I feel like this album has some great flow to it, from going from track to track, and how like the fluidity of it all kind of works. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to. This might just be about losing track of somebody, or yeah. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's exactly an extension of my thoughts on Center Mass, or if he's talking about just kind of the loss of a friend for no real good reason. And that's something that also happens to all of us. Somebody that you were super close with, and then as time goes on, as we all grow up, as we all get our own lives and everything, somebody that you shared so much of yourself with, all of a sudden is just a stranger, And if you're in the practice of isolation, like that happens more often than not, and everybody just eventually becomes a stranger to you, and more than that, you become a stranger to everybody else, So I can definitely resonate with that. But as for the exact subject matter that he's talking about, I'm not 100% clear on it. But what I do know is I absolutely love the general vibe of this. I like the headspace that it put me in. It's calming. It's beautiful. It's lush, but there's also like some of that whimsicality from some of those synth leads that are like, I don't know. It feels like on paper it shouldn't work. It's such an abrasive, weird, almost cheesy kind of sound. Like I've used this before, but like in Halloween, when you walk up to somebody's house and they have those dangling little ghosts, and like when you walk by them, they're like motion activated and they make like a scary little woo type of sound. Like it's so cheesy and so like it sounds like it's almost peaking, and like the quality obviously isn't that great when you hear it because it's coming from a small speaker and it's like a $10 thing. Anyway, that specific sound, that specific randomness, that specific like just cheesiness, I've always appreciated. And 21 Pilots has that a lot in their music, and it's like it's playful. It's like there's a lot of heavy subjects, and there's a lot of like weight to a lot of what Tyler's talking about, and the music itself and everything. But when you have like those little leads every once in a while that's sprinkled through the music, it just kind of like adds like a sense of like childlike wonder to it all, which just, I don't know, something I've always really appreciated. But I really like this one. I like this one as well. So far, this album like feels like I don't know if I'd want to pull Cottonwood out and listen to it as a single. Like wake up one morning and be like, I got to hear Cottonwood. Maybe I would, I don't know. But so far, like it's been fun listening to this as like one cohesive art piece. And I think we still have a few more tracks here. Yeah, we're only on track 9, so we got 13 tracks. Let's continue. What's next? One Way. All right. Again, more weather.
Take back who I was before. If it's no, then all my dreams have not been interesting in a while. This has not been interesting in a while. Wow, wow. I wanted to fly, but they say a system's coming in. The chances are
Key change.
Someone next to me keeps yelling. Why am I still walking? Something must be wrong here. I just don't belong here. I wanted to fly, but they say a system's coming in.
chord. All right.
I wanted to fly, but they say a system's coming in. The chances are high. Then this is a one way. Then this is a one way. Then this is a one way.
Hey, it's Josh. Call me back. I'm not opposed to one way going into days like Dormant, but it does feel like quite a vibe change. And
Okay. Let's go back and talk about that for a second. One way, what an interesting way to end things off. I was just talking about like the fluidity of this album and how it all seems to flow together. And we've got this random message from Josh saying he's not quite sure about this next song. Okay. Or at least like the order of it, but we'll get to that in a second once we get to it. This one to me, lyrically just feels like anxiety. You know, he wants to do something. He wants to express himself some kind of way. He wants to, you know, he says it as fly. That could mean many things, but he's scared of the weather. It's something that he's mentioned before. He's used weather in this album, and then also in some of his previous works as well, where he's talked about weather as a certain force that could be debilitating to him. And obviously, I think it's a metaphor, just like how I think the story of the lore of Demon and all that is metaphors for things as well. I think he's doing the same thing with weather. And I think it's cool. Maybe we'll get more of that going forward from 21 Pilots using that sort of metaphor, because we're definitely stepping away from like that layered vocal thing, the vocoder and the key changes, and as far as like the lower and higher coming together in harmonies with like a super low and the high and all of that you saw from Blurry Face and some of Trench and all that. We're definitely stepping away from that, and we're getting some more clean raw vocals from Tyler and less of like the, you know, the audio personification of different personalities coming together. So maybe that's just a different way to use metaphors for him. Regardless, great little song. It's got a cool, chill vibe to it, and I'm interested now more than ever just to kind of see what Josh is talking about. So let's just let this play out from here on to the next one.
hey, it's Josh. Call me back. I'm not opposed to one way going into days like Dormant, but it does feel like quite a vibe change. And
Okay. Definitely a bit of a, I mean, we're changing tempo, we're changing tone a little bit. We're like in this real chill vibe there for a second. I totally see it. This just reminds me of like the indie kind of like alt rock thing I was into like in my college days, like the Bravery and the Faint and all that kind of stuff. So let's let it play out. Whistle too. Total alternative indie.
You say don't worry about me though. It looks so much warmer there, and I should try Topo Chico and get some more sun. But yeah, say with your face something else altogether. My days lie dormant, 'cause I just can't afford it to
My days lie dormant, frozen and distorted, robbed of my momentum and suspended in the air. My days lie dormant, it's feeling less important to waste my time inside a place you're not. Don't make me waste my love, it's everything I've got.
Okay, maybe this is the Jenna song. I don't know. My days lie dormant. Talking about traveling and being in a place where he doesn't feel like he has her love close to him, and yeah, it's sweet in that aspect of it. So I don't know. There could be a few Jenna songs on this album. Who knows? This is an interesting break here. Definitely more in that indie alternative rock type of feel to it, leaning more towards some of the earlier days of 21 Pilots. This is a fan service album, guys. That's what this is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This is like the album I've been waiting for years. It feels like. I mean, we have a few more songs here, and I mean, tallying intentions, and we'll see if it like fits. If they can stick the landing with this whole thing. But so far, I mean, this has been a pretty incredible album. It's been everything that I've wanted in a 21 Pilots as far as like sonic diversity, subject matter, vocals, and beat mapping. Like it has all the quintessential things that I look forward to in a 21 Pilots song, or album rather. This one definitely feels, some of these songs do feel a little out of place as far as like, maybe not though. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because everything is so, it's not different. They're all utilizing some similar tones, and so there is a fluidity to this. There is a certain like cohesive nature to it as far as like looking at this from like a just a tonal aspect alone. Whereas the genre may change a little bit, but the tones kind of stay the same, or they're in the same lane at least. So like this one feels a little out there. It feels a little different, but also that might just be because of the intro into this song, which is funny as hell anyway. Having Josh's continue on into the song, I thought that was kind of humorous. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far, I'm really digging this album. This one definitely has more of like that indie alternative rock to it. Definitely wasn't expecting a song like this, but whatever. I've always appreciated the alternative indie stuff. All right. Maybe it might be a Jenna song. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but it's the way it feels like to me. I mean, this might be the most Jenna song on there. There might be a few of them on this album. Who knows? Let's continue to, what's the next one? Tally.
I lost my rank and title. I turned my back on it. Sold it all at a discount. I wanted to progress.
This is a spiritual successor to Vessel. All right, I'm calling it right now. I know there's elements of everything, but to me, this feels like a spiritual successor to Vessel, and I'm 100% here for it.
I lost my rank and title. I turned my back on it. Sold it all at a discount. I wanted to progress things. I wanted my soul set free. Lost it all at a discount. You and I both know this sounded story goes. We've seen it several times. It's kind of hard to know, is there a point at all, or should we cut the line? You wanna tally, I lost the count. You wanna love me, I let you down. Still now, you believe in me somehow. strike on cue. Like right when a storm hits, I set right set. Circumstantial proof you should go your way. I should try mine, even though we both know we should just cut the line. You wanna tally, I lost the count. You wanna love me, I let you down. Still now, you believe in me somehow. When I replay it in my mind, I see your heart break every time. Still now, you believe in me somehow. Somehow, I figured you were keeping track of every time. Just figured you were keeping track of every time. I let you down, I breached your trust, I let you die. Just figured you were keeping track.
Okay, that's another goddamn banger. Tally. All right. A lot of high energy. A lot of drum and bass elements. The same staccato hits. Again, the vessel elements of the sporadic nature of this is very evident in this. I loved it. This is again one of my this is another one of my favorites. This center mass drum show. There's been so many. Hell, even City Walls was really good too. Yeah, you know what? Like thinking about it now, like I'm really trying to find one song that I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like immediately, all these songs are hitting with me. I was a little worried, like going into this and having Clancy, just released just last year. I'm like, with the double album theory and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, is this the leftover songs? Is this going to be the B-sides? Is this going to be like the demos of it all? But I mean, so far, I even enjoy this better than Clancy. And Clancy was pretty good, but Clancy definitely had a couple misses for me. There's definitely a couple jams in that I'm like, every time I hear certain things, like what's that Snapback song I like or whatever, like that ends too soon. I want that to continue going on. But I like the general vibe of it. The Snapback, Fallback, I don't know. I forget the name of the song. I'll have to go and look at it again. But yeah, no, very, very cool, very energetic, very vibrant, great vocals. Beat mapping is fantastic. Lyrical content, what are we talking about here? You'd think, the first thing I was thinking is like, okay, this is some sort of fight he's having with somebody. This is some sort of turmoil in a relationship. And, they're doing that thing where they're fighting and they're like, oh, well, remember when you did this? And they pull shit up from the past and all that stuff. I don't think that's what this is about. I mentioned earlier that I think that he might be sharing a little bit more about his religion with us and a little bit more about his struggles with his own faith. And I kind of feel like this, he's like this still, like, you still love me somehow. I don't think he's talking about Jenna here. Maybe he is, who knows? Maybe I'm grasping at straws, but to me, this feels like, I don't know how you can do this. I thought you were keeping track of, keeping tally of all the things that I've done wrong over time. And now, like, maybe, when I'm replaying these things. So like he's like wearing his own burden, you know what I mean? Like he's thinking this other person's keeping, a tally of all the times that, he did something wrong. But still, and it breaks his heart, but like still this person still loves him regardless. So I don't know. To me, it feels like I think this might be a hint of that. That's what this band does. Like and I could be, again, totally wrong on this. I'm just listening to this for the first time, just woke up and came in here and listened to it. So, but that's what this band does with like religion when he talks about his faith and things like that. It's not like a, giving us a prayer or talking about it in about religion in some kind of way where he's trying to recruit people, but talking about like his direct relationship with it and whether it's a positive or a negative thing, and the effect of the relationship that he does have with religion, with God, and how it affects him, and less about trying to recruit people for a church or something. You know what I mean? Which is something I've always respected. But yeah, straight up banger. And I think that's what it is. It could be about fighting. It could be about Jenna. It could be about having issues and somebody still loving you through thick and thin. I could totally see that. Like, that makes 100% sense too. But I'm just thinking, like, if this is the album we're jumping off of the lore from, do you know what I mean? If like the story is ended with City Walls, and now we're like on to like the next focal matter for what he wants to talk about, like, I could see this being something along with family and along with like just getting older and different stresses and different aspects of life, and possibly seeing in helping his children with dealing with things in a different way than maybe he dealt with them or whatever. I mean, who knows? Well, I guess we'll see. I'm just, again, grasping at straws. But we are on to the last track of the album, track 13. Although I did hear a rumor, I got a YouTube notification that there's this other song too, like this bonus song out there somewhere. But I think I have to buy that on iTunes or something. So I probably can't share it in this video, but I 100% will pick it up and will buy it, and I'll share that on Patreon. I don't even know if this will make it to YouTube. This might be a Patreon video anyway. But if you do want to see that, I'll have that over on Patreon along with my reactions to the music videos and all that stuff and everything. But we're moving on to the last track. If you've been a fan of 21 Pilots, you know what we're walking into. This is not going to surprise any of us. We know that we're into we're gonna be getting something a little bit heavy here. But how does he tie it together? What happens? What is the send-off message? Where does 21 Pilots leave us now moving forward as a band? Let's find out right now. Intentions.
I am starting it all once again. Did I learn a thing?
Wait, this is from City Walls music video.
Intentions are everything. Intentions will set you free. You will fail most every day, every way. Did you learn a thing? Intentions lack memory. Intentions will set you free. Just try to be.
Okay, so we end with the cycle, the same melody. I'm not sure if this entire song played out for the City Walls music video, but there is some of it in there at least. Okay, so yeah, we end in the whole cycle, and then like that's the whole thing. I should have fucking seen that coming a mile away. We were talking about that in the beginning. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What's up with this reverse melody going on? It seems super familiar. Let me try something. Is it this? I think it's sampled from this.
The sun will rise and we will try again.
Just bear with me for 1 second here. I could be grasping at straws again. It's hard to tell. There's a melody thing happening here, and it's following some of, or reverse following a certain progression in a different song. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just reverse, whatever, because it sounds creepy and weird. But yeah, okay. So the entire circular aspect of it makes a whole lot of sense. But all right, damn, there it is. Let's fucking talk about it, dude. This was one hell of an album. I've learned to tamper my expectations when it comes to 21 Pilots albums, because as I mentioned before, they don't always immediately resonate with me. Sometimes I need a couple weeks. Sometimes I need to hear a song a couple times to hear a different thing or think about it from a different angle and see if it really means something to me, or the tone of it just feels off to me. And I'm like, and that's just what happens with some of your favorite artists and being kind of biased towards them, and especially your favorite, era of that artist. You're like, oh, this is them, but they're just doing something that I don't really like, And I hate to say that about literally one of my favorite bands of all time, which is this band right here. But sometimes that does happen. And more often than not, pretty much anything after Vessel, I've run into that problem. And it's not even a huge problem. It's just like I have a problem listening to the album from start to finish, and that's my favorite way to experience an artist. If you're new to my channel or new to me, like that's kind of my whole shtick, is I like to listen to the entirety of one art piece and take it in as like one cohesive message and sound and try and understand what the artist was doing at a fundamental level of the entirety of the project and less pick apart singles. And 21 Pilots is one of those bands like I don't often react to for a couple reasons. One, that being that reason. Like I wanted to do an entire album reaction to Clancy. At the last moment, I decided no. This is essentially become your job, reacting to stuff, and you need to every once in a while just have a project that's just for you. And 21 Pilots was my project. So I listened to that album, but I didn't put out a reaction video. I put out a reaction video for a single or two, but I absorbed it and did everything by myself. And I didn't put a reaction video out there because I'm like, no, this is just your special thing, which I know is selfish, but whatever. But I didn't want to do that with Breach. But what I'm getting at here is I've always run into the problem where there's been a couple outliers in an album where it's kind of disrupted the tone of the album for me, where it's been more difficult for me to reemerge myself in some of the content because of some of those things. And those things, those outliers in music, those things that don't necessarily excite me because you're being creative with music. You're finding different ways to express yourself in a way that is so uneven familiar to somebody that studies music for a living that it makes me feel uncomfortable. And that excites me because I don't like it, because you're willing to take those kind of creative risks. You're willing to do something that seems so off the wall and so outside of itself that makes even more sense when you look at not just the album, but the discography of the artist as a whole. And so I respect it on a level. I don't like it on a level, but I respect it because I don't like it, if that makes any sense. With Breach, we're talking about a different album altogether. There is not one track on this album that I feel is an outlier. Is a track that feels like it doesn't fit, that it's just not going to be the one for me, or if I'm listening to it on an album, it's going to be a skip ahead song. There's not one skip on this album. I think it's cohesive enough with it's using some of the same tones and themes and structure and beat mapping, really leaning into that breakbeat drum and bass style, but with live instruments, that it comes together. There's a great groove factor to it, but there's a great groove factor to all the 21 Pilots music. But I feel like this, for me, is just it's checking all the boxes of the things I've been looking for my favorite 21 Pilots album. And part of that kind of scares me because I'm thinking this might be it for 21 Pilots for a little while. I don't think, them talking about City Walls and it being over or whatever, that they're going to break up or whatever. But I'm thinking after the tour, we're going to get a bit of a hiatus. I think they're going to regroup, collect themselves, And it might be a 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows how many years before we get any more. And I think this was one more. This album here was for us, for the diehards, for the fans, for the ones that they know what we've wanted this entire time. They've known the sound direction. They've known we've been dying for Tyler screams. We've been dying for more intensity. We've been dying for more dramatic shifts. We've been dying for more heartfelt things. Not that those things weren't incorporated in other albums, but in a more fluid sense, as in this Breach album. So I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's the way it feels to me. It feels like this album was written directly for us. You know, I love and appreciate 21 Pilots albums all differently for different reasons, but this feels like a true climax to me. And as much as it pains me to say it at this point, I wouldn't be mad if they just stepped away for a while after this. If this was the end of it, if this was the end of their career, if they decided after this album they weren't going to do anything, they were done with music, as much as I want to hear new 21 Pilots, I'd be fine with it. They'd be taking the Seinfeld approach here, in my eyes. They'd be going out on top and they'd be walking away from it. Not that I'm wishing that, not that I'm wishing that, but this would be the perfect cherry on top of their discography if they closed it out with this. Breach encompasses the eras of the essence of every era of 21 Pilots, puts it together in an entirely new but readable and recognizable pattern, and delivers it with beautiful vocals, intense drumming, wild sonic atmosphere. It's the perfect package. And it might not be for you, it might not be your thing, but for me, this is it. This is the best 21 Pilots has been since Vessel for me. And I know Trench is probably everybody's favorites because it's got the crazy, well, maybe blurry faces. I don't know. But for me, this might be my favorite 21 Pilots album that I've ever heard. I think this is it. And I can say that clearly because after Clancy, I knew immediately, like, I liked it. I liked the songs on it and everything, but I immediately knew that wasn't going to be my favorite 21 Pilots album of all time. Same thing with Blurry Face, same thing with Trench, same thing with Scaled and Icy. Like, I liked it, appreciated it, loved it for what it was, loved the creative risks, but I knew it wasn't going to be my favorite. This is the first time listening to a 21 Pilots album where I'm like, fuck, this might be my new favorite. And that is after 10 years of listening to 21 Pilots and appreciating this band. That's it, guys. That's it. I don't know what to say. I've got 2 favorite albums of 2025 as of right now. The 2 best albums I've heard, Lady Gaga's Mayhem and 21 Pilots Breach. And they are neck and neck for my absolute favorite. Probably Breach. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me here today. I'm not sure if this video is going to get on YouTube, but if it is, like, subscribe, do that sort of thing. If you want to see more of my deep dives and more of the videos that won't be on YouTube for sure, definitely check out Patreon. It's like YouTube, but 1,000 times better. I put out way more content over there. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed hanging out for a bit, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.